Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. In this video, you're going to learn all about SINOVATE and masternodes. All right, in lieu of intro music, why don't we actually talk about what this video will teach you? We're going to give you a 30,000-foot overview of the project. What makes SINOVATE go? What makes it tick? What are the mechanics of this coin? Some people would call this the fundamentals. So what's its purpose? How does it work? And we're going to go over all kinds of very important aspects of how it works for you to be fully informed. And after we do that, talk about projections, meaning the Masternode distribution, the profit or ROI, anticipated rate of return, and then how long it is likely to take before somebody doubles their initial investment when setting up a Masternode. We're going to talk about Masternode setup, of course, after that, and what it takes, where you can find the setup instructions, what tools you'll need, the specs you'll need for a virtual private server, and then how long it will take from start to finish. Everything from wallet setup all the way into getting the Masternode in sync with the network so that your Masternode is up and running. You'll talk about earnings, that is answering the bottom line question, will you earn with this Masternode? We'll go over some projections and go over some value amounts there, dollar amounts there. And then at the very end, stick around for a $50 giveaway. And that's not sponsored by SINOVATE. That is sponsored by yours truly. So I sincerely hope that we choose you. None of the opinions or interviews on this channel should be taken as legal, financial, business, or other advice. You're responsible for your own choices. Put on your big boy or girl pants and do not get wrecked. Whew. Okay, let's jump right into it. We're on the SINOVATE website right now. It's just sinovate.io. And let's talk a little bit about the mechanics of this coin. And we'll kind of jump down. There's create, build, innovate. Woohoo! In their words, they say SINOVATE is a new peer-to-peer digital currency and ecosystem which creates a unique and modern blockchain products, services, and solutions. SIN embraces this new technology and has executed extensive research on various ways to educate others and help them implement innovation into their daily lives and businesses. SINOVATE believes in transparency and are open about the current challenges the crypto community faces. To overcome these, an experienced and talented team which works alongside the community has been assembled, paving the way towards mass adoption of cryptocurrency. Okay, they had to have some kind of a mission statement, right? So that's their mission statement. There is a video talking about infinity nodes, and it stopped playing, I guess. Oh, well. And I'm sorry, this is their mission statement. Cryptographic technology is still in its infancy, with blockchain providing a world of possibilities for practical applications that extend far beyond the financial sector. SINOVATE implements a decentralized solution by harnessing existing technologies and concepts, innovating them, and creating multiple features that give users the ability to adopt new technology in a secure environment. It's highly formal language, but let's talk about this and kind of break it down. What does that really mean? It means that they're trying to be serious about creating a new blockchain and trying to be serious about creating value with a new cryptocurrency. I think that's all it means, bottom line. They say incorruptible data storage, infinity nodes, and the X25X algorithm are ways that they're proving that this mission statement is true. They're attempting to innovate. So there you go. An unlimited decentralized data and transfer storage. Sounds interesting. Sounds unique. Infinity nodes solving the unintended consequences of high inflation and emission that other Masternode projects are subject to or are prone to. We'll see. X25X algorithm, they claim that it's very unique and that they use it paired with the delayed proof of work pioneered by the Komodo team. So shout out to Komodo. They're using that to increase the security of their network, making it more difficult to execute a 51% attack or to get hash rate bombed and have that be a problem for double spending or other similar attacks related to 51% of the hash rate. Sounds very, very interesting. Okay, specifications. Block time is 2 minutes. That's 120 seconds. In interviewing Rocksteady of the Turtlecoin project, he claimed, or he alleged, that 120 seconds is about as short as any coin developer should allow for a block time to be today in 2019, 2020, the near future, maybe 21. I don't know if quantum computing will make a difference in the future, but for today, having a 2-minute block time makes sense because it allows for some reaction time. If there is a 51% attack or some other type of attack, it allows them for some reaction time, and it's not as short as, say, 30 seconds. Now, Bitcoin, of course, has a 2-minute or 10-minute block time, and there are other coins that have 5-minute block times, 4-minute block times. There are some, like Canary Coin, that had Tree Fitty, right? 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So I don't know. I think he was right. I'm convinced by his argument that 2 minutes is about as short as you want it to be, and I think that they made a good choice here by sticking to 2 minutes. Max transactions per second, 533, and they have something more to say about that later on their front page here. Total supply is 2.5 billion SIN, that's their ticker symbol, and it will be emitted over about 20 years. And the max block size is 16 megabytes, and it's good that they're committing to that now because you have, of course, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and all of the variants that are duking it out over what the best scaling method is. So in my opinion, just stating clearly and for the record, hey, this is going to be our max block size, takes that question off of the table, and it makes it easier to just focus on designing and building in some other direction. Apparently, if they get past 16 megabytes, they may have to use a second layer, or they may have to find some other way of sharding or doing something else. I don't know, some way of compressing their block size. So good to see that they're committed to that now. As far as features, with the masternodes, it looks like there's a minimum 22% annual ROI guaranteed. That's impressive. I don't know how exactly they're able to manipulate the network to ensure that that happens. Other than that, the emission or the block reward is clearly going to be cut out kind of in favor of masternodes to ensure that there's 22% ROI. Cool. And of course, they keep it branded. They're Infinity Node branded, but still masternodes. Flash send. That's where those 533 transactions per second come from, and apparently they take place in less than 3 seconds, which is pretty awesome. Dash would call this instant send, right? Or variants and forks of Dash would call this instant send. It's very cool that they have something like that built in to be able to receive confirmation fast. Very fast confirmation will help in terms of increasing adoption for commerce, I think. So this is a big deal. And as they say, it's 75 times more scalable than Bitcoin, which is we call it the gold standard, right, of cryptocurrencies. That's a big deal too. Revolving sovereignty votes, decentralized voting. So revolving sovereignty. We'll have to read a little more about that another time. I won't make too much commentary here other than to say I am often concerned about decentralized voting systems or on-chain governance with blockchain projects because it's so easy to game with a weighted stake. So if they're talking about revolving sovereignty, meaning there may be a changing of the guard, not just the people who are the whales, right, making all the decisions, then perhaps this is a better way forward for on-chain governance. I'm a little bit concerned by projects where having the biggest bag makes you the loudest voice. I think that's a mistake most of the time. It's not to say that heavy stakeholders should not have a say. That is just, in my opinion, that heavy stakeholders should not have all the say when it comes to development of a project. There are other considerations, and there are considerations that in the future, the heaviest stakeholders might not be considering because they're only considering, well, their take on things. Shadow Send, it looks like this enables the anonymous transfer of SIN. I believe it's just a built-in mixer on the desktop wallet or within the network that can be put into effect by using the desktop wallet and then telling it to start mixing. That's pretty cool. I wish more networks did that. Privacy by default, in my opinion, if you've paid any attention to the channel at all over the last 2 years, privacy by default is a pretty big deal. And privacy is going to, in my opinion, also help with adoption within commerce because no business owner in his or her right mind wants their ledger to be public 24/7. So if you were to transact solely in Bitcoin, then you would know that the most popular wallets that your business uses, without using some kind of a mixer or tumbler, the most popular wallets that your business uses are fully auditable by your competitors. Think about that. They know how much money you have morning, noon, and night. That's a problem for business owners. And you need to keep your books private. It's okay for your bank to know about it, or if you're using some sort of custodial crypto, again, with maybe that's okay then. But Bitcoin in general, if you're running your own private payment processor, right? There are several out there that you can host on your own with your own VPS, your own private payment processor, and then running it directly to your own full node Bitcoin wallet, then Bitcoin is actually a really difficult choice for a lot of business owners to make. If you're running it the right way, air quotes, right? And not just taking shortcuts. But having something like this Shadow Send or a mixer built in, I think is a good step in the right direction. Burn away your sins. Oh, you guys. So witty. All right, so it says SIN used to create infinity nodes are immediately burnt, so are no longer part of the overall coin supply. What does that mean? Does that mean the full collateral? No, not the full collateral. But right here, the 3-tier nodes, there are they call it little sin, mid sin, and big sin. Again, it's endlessly entertaining that the ticker symbol is SIN. I think the name itself is ugly as sin. Womp womp. Okay, so each infinity node can hold either 100,000 SIN for a little node, 500,000 for a middle node, and 1 million for a big node. That said, the SIN that is burned, think of it as kind of like gas on Ethereum, right? It's not actually used, or on Ethereum forks that now have masternodes integrated, you wouldn't use gas as the collateral, and the collateral wouldn't get burned, but you do ultimately get rid of gas. You spend gas, right? And so same way with burning this SIN in order to create and spin up the masternode. I think maybe this is a good thing because there won't be people kind of jumping in and dropping 1 million SIN willy-nilly saying, well, maybe I want a masternode, but maybe I won't use a masternode. No. There was a cost associated, right? There's a real cost in setting up a masternode. It's a non-trivial setup process because you will burn coins to do it. You'll be pinched to do it. Okay, so SINOVATE Foundation financial status. Wait, what's this? Financial status? Okay, so I don't know if this is perfectly auditable, and my apologies for not doing a deep dive here, but let me just talk about this conceptually briefly. The 1.1% founders fee from every mined block. I think, personally, this is a good idea. And here's why I think it's a good idea. Again, if you followed the channel for any length of time and you've seen interviews of mine with coin developer teams, then you know that while I appreciate that there's a lot that's been given to the open source community, and frankly, we would not be able to survive without them, you look at the most successful open source projects, and I mean like file systems and network protocols, and then also desktop operating systems, as well as desktop software within open source, the open source community, even the free and open source software movement. And there's quite a bit that requires some degree of investment from either the community or from a foundation in order to keep the lead development team alive and focused on the work. If you do not pay for things of value, well, guess what? You don't get to determine their direction. So you're at the whim of whatever sociopath is running that organization and saying, well, I really feel like doing this just because it seems like a good idea. What is holding them accountable to you? And if you tell me it's just personal character, just because they're a nice guy or a nice girl, I'm probably going to laugh. Generally speaking, to keep a lead development team accountable, you should probably just pay them, right? But a reasonable fee. And 1.1%, I don't think is too onerous. I don't think they're asking too much in terms of a founder's fee. I think this is about the right amount. So there you go. Even with really good open source projects, and I'll bring it back to the desktop, think of Linux software, open source software like the GIMP or like Inkscape or like Blender. There are foundations and there is money. There are nonprofits behind a lot of these projects that allow for development to continue to take place. Right? This development doesn't take place in a vacuum, and it doesn't happen without resources. So this is awesome. The fact that they're breaking it down here for exchange listing, marketing, development is, that's helpful, but I don't know how that can be audited. Perhaps we can audit it some other way, some other time. All right. May 2019. No. Okay, there we go. This is just some kind of a slideshow. What? All right. So Okay, let's take it way back. There we go. January 2019, startup chain, no ICO, no pre-mine, custom X22I algorithm, and I do recall when it was X22I, with chain start September 26th, 2018. Now, you may recall that on the channel, I was talking a lot about FPGAs at the time, and I still am. And I do believe that Whitefire and other FPGA developers, Bitstream developers, it's not too distant, the future in which they can fit something like X22I or even X25X potentially onto an FPGA, either current gen FPGAs or upcoming next gen FPGAs that have HBM2 memory on them and a lot of logic elements. It's possible that this can happen, right? So they hit the ground running though in September 26th. There you go. Now, Trade Ogre, Crypto Bridge, there we go. Stex, CoinExchange.io, VBitX, QBTC listings. They really hit the market by storm. There we go. Mobile wallets on all platforms, as you know. In May, they rebranded to SINOVATE, did the legal paper for a non-security crypto, so they are legal in so many territories around the world. Developer fee was finally set. They secured the Infinity nodes, Shadow Send, Flash Send, and then the financial statement. There was a lot done in May. Pretty big deal. They believe that X25X is very resistant to some of the hardware threats. We'll see. Webpool, pool stats, a bunch of changes there, but looks promising, right? It looks good, doesn't it? Let's look at July and August. There we go. Delayed proof of work. Notarization as well, which I don't know if anybody's talking about it, but the notarization, I believe, was contributed by the SafeCoin team. So bravo, SafeCoin team. Hardware wallets, they're working on getting integrated into Ledger, which would be awesome. Exchange listings is an ongoing issue for most coins, so apparently they're working on that as well. All right, so we'll see what comes at the end of this year, though. Looks like they want to create a payment gateway. Everybody does. There's several really good projects that they can adapt, of course, fork on GitHub and make work. And jump right back again, and more exchange listings. There you go. But right here, revolving sovereignty votes. I think that's going to. That's funny. RSV. That's also the name of a really intense cough that most children here catch. By the way, guys, just it's funny to see here. So anyway, that's funny. We'll see how that pans out for them. Again, I really do wish them well. Sin. All right, talking about the mobile wallet there. Here we go. Team, this matters to me a lot. If you watch the channel, you know this matters to me a whole lot. Tamer Cryptlandler reached out to me directly and asked me to do this review. So again, thank you, Tamer. I really appreciate that. And to show that he was serious about having me do the review. Again, as I said before, founders should be paid to keep their attention on the project. I think that reviewers, if you're serious about having a reviewer, I don't know, perhaps offer payment, and they did. So this is a paid review, just for the record. Palace, CTO co-founder, Juan Nguyen, based out of France, and then some others as well, who I think most of the project is primarily run between Turkey and France. So I believe that Tamer is based in Turkey. There you go. So Turkey, which is not only the home of SINOVATE and Tamer and his team, but also the home of many great firearms manufacturing companies that are rebranded as American brands. Believe it or not. Just random tidbit there for you. But core developer, full stack developer, let's take a look at these guys on LinkedIn as well. So, Juantan, there you go. Juantan Nguyen, there you go. Paris. I apologize. I totally slaughtered it. Please don't ask me to speak French, because then you'll really make fun of me. My French is terrible. Sam, what you doing in the UK, bud? There you go. Interesting. Oh, hey, check it out. So Sam is available for work on Upwork, which I think is awesome. So, do me a favor, and perhaps you are looking for a developer to hire that does some sort of blockchain work. I think it'd be phenomenal for somebody from the community to go out of the way to try to hire Sam on Upwork for a project. Really, pay the guy, throw the guy a bone, give him some money, check to see his work, see how he does. That'd be an awesome data point for the community to have. And then Tuan Anle. Also, there we go, in France. So there may be a connection there. This is a French connection. But there you go. Turkey, France, UK. So very distributed, disparate team, but they are real people And it's, to me, it gives a lot of hope to see Dino and Tamer and Juanton and Tuan An Li, see where they are based and kind of see that they're real people. So they have a resume, right? It's kind of a nice, refreshing thing. Ooh, you know what else though? Let's check out their GitHub. Come here, guys, and Beat. Check out Beat as well. Okay, Aquarius. That's cool. Curb Tech. WC1. Not a lot of commits. That's okay, though. That kind of doesn't matter. But November of last year, there were some, and some in April. Bitcoin J. Beat. All right, Beat has got a lot of the commits going on here. So as a core developer, this is probably a little less surprising for us to see a lot more there. Let's see. All of his repositories, though. And again, commit history is not the most important thing. We go SynBeat system, the core web system. Interesting. Server Merit for Cedar, BitPeers, web wallet. Cool. All right, so we actually see he is putting in work. He or she is putting in work right there. Cryptech, a lot of commits across a lot of the core products, right? So looks like Cryptech is the one, or CRP Tech, sorry, is the one doing a lot of the last mile pushes here to the main repo. Interesting. Okay, interesting. Again, commit history, not the most important thing, but it is just one data point right here. And Aquarius 2601, not seeing a whole lot recently. All right. So that's the team. And I love being able to see the team. I think that's very helpful. Partnerships, of course, probably not the most important thing, but seeing that there are strong partnerships can help us to know that we're not necessarily following a scam. Komodo, not in the habit of publicly partnering with scams. Masternodes Pro, they accept listing fees, so it's hard to take seriously. CoinGecko, I'm sorry, that sounds really bad. Just saying that if you have a listing fee, you can get onto Masternodes Pro and you can get onto CoinGecko. However, in my experience, neither CoinGecko nor Masternodes Pro they don't actively seek out scam projects, right? CoinMarketCap, Blockfolio, Vultr, and DigitalOcean. Interesting, they call them partners. I wonder to what extent they are actually partners, because I don't believe that there is a Vultr or DigitalOcean one-click Masternode setup there. I think it's still fairly involved for setting it up, and you'd have to set up an Ubuntu instance either way. But I don't know. This is interesting. I don't know what that means. Oh, there you go. There's a referral link there, and DigitalOcean, that link is broken, but there's a referral link. So they are affiliates. Okay. Well, hey, if team, when you watch this, just know that that's interesting. I don't know what that actually indicates by way of partnership, but with Masternodes Pro and CoinGecko, you've been listed there. Same with CoinMarketCap and Blockfolio. Some of the others as well, mnrank.com. Komodo, of course, you are a fork of their project. And Zelcore, you may be listed within Zelcore, and we'll take a look at that over on their website as well. Perhaps we can find you over there. So getting listed. We need to try to check to see if... Alrighty, let's take a look. What's the full list here? Do we see SINOVATE in Zelcore? We might not yet. Seeing a lot of others. Polymath. Not seeing SINOVATE. Mainframe. There are plenty of tokens that are supported. ERC20 tokens. Binance Chain. All right, so I don't see SINOVATE here on Zelcore just yet, but it could be that they are in early talks to be listed. It kind of makes me wonder, though, how would SINOVATE be able to incorporate their version of private send, right? So being able to show, or what do they call it? Shadow send. How would they be able to integrate shadow send into the Zelcore product? Not sure. But buying SINOVATE, clearly there are several exchange listings there. That's awesome. Let's talk really briefly about that while we look at the projections and some of the other environment that supports it. right? So, hey, join us. They're active on Discord, I know that. Active on Twitter as well, and active on Facebook, as you can see. And, oh, that's nice. I've got a donation address. And so this is me just calling you to act. If you've got some SINOVATE, of course, and you see this review, obviously go support the dev team, because they reached out to me and they really kind of made this possible. I was not leaning towards making this review until Cryptolander reached out. So, all right. Plenty of ways to buy it, ways to mine it, of course, as well. But we're not going to talk about mining today. Let's look at SINOVATE on CoinGecko. Today, it's down 8%. So, oh, bummer. That is a bummer. There you go. Things can really change. It can change very, very fast. And if you have enough collateral for that initial masternode, right? So that little infinity node, it's just about $500 USD. Let's look at 1, 2, 3. There we go. For the mid SIN, you're looking $2,500 for that next tier masternode. And then there you go. So it looks like the big SIN infinity node is 5 large. That's quite a bit of moolah, but 22% guaranteed ROI within the native coin. That is to say, not on the USD side, right? That's where things kind of take a turn here, right? So 22%, but dang, look at that fluctuation in the middle of this recording from 8% down to only 6.5% down, 8.1% to 6.5%. We're just watching it fluctuate right before our eyes. And that's the nature of crypto, right? It is a speculative investment vehicle, no matter how you choose to participate, whether buying, mining, or investing in a masternode and locking up collateral that way. But yeah, whew, look at that. Daily volume, not so bad as far as getting involved in trading. And then the market cap, just over $2 million. So it is I think by most people's measure, it's a healthy project, and you can see it right here, as well as the volume by exchange. Looks like, wow, we've got Trade Ogre QBTC is really high, 50,000 daily. Citex 21,000. Chowx. Stex, nice. That's great to see that. Stex is 44,000 daily. VBitX, that looks too big. It looks way too big. But Stex at 44,000. That's exciting to me because Stex has a phenomenal mobile app. So let's maybe take a look at that right here. So Stex, we've got their chart right now. Let me refresh that really fast. But Stex, I love their mobile app. So being able to set up trades on a mobile app is extremely convenient no matter where you are. But we'll notice that right here, quite a bit of volatility in the last several days, especially last week or so. And I don't know it's entirely this project's fault, right? We've seen Bitcoin, we've seen big news and big moves with Bitcoin, the king daddy of value store within the crypto space. So unfortunately, when Bitcoin sneezes, all other altcoins catch a cold. And I think that's probably what we're seeing here with SINOVATE. So please don't take this as a sign of weakness within the project or within the leadership. I think it's probably just a natural market fluctuation. So yeah, take it with as much salt as you have to. But also know these are one of the risks, the inherent risks of doing that. So sell orders, we've got healthy sell orders coming in. We've got healthy buy orders coming in. That's kind of what matters. So right here, people are buying it, and they're buying it in large amounts. They're buying it in amounts that would indicate that people are getting enough collateral to set up masternodes. See that right there? So 53,000, 34,000, 15,000, etc., 23,000. People are definitely putting it there, 99,000 right there. Plenty of buy orders coming in that show that there's a bit of volume here, and there may even be people buying with the express intent of getting masternodes set up and contributing to the SINOVATE ecosystem. I don't know. I can't know for sure, but definitely the numbers are there, and that's just on one exchange. We saw the others as well. Let's take a look. The overall market over on CoinGecko as well. Looks like Bitcoin last hour stagnant, but over the last day, funny, some growth. I wonder why is SINOVATE not showing that? I said the last 7 days have been awkward, right? Awkward with Bitcoin. And then some of the other larger proof of work projects not experiencing their finest hour, right? So Monero is high on the list there, Ethereum as well. Not nearly the same amount of growth that we're hoping for from proof of work projects. So with SINOVATE not not doing its strongest over the last hour or couple of days, I'm not super shocked. However, last 30 days, it's definitely down. Last 2 weeks, way down. Over the last hour, though, we are seeing it. Oh my gosh, there we go, back up. But we see it down over the last day, which is a bit of a bummer. I think it's that last hour of a little pump that is showing it fewer than 8 points down. Okay, so those are some of the numbers. Those are some of what makes this project perhaps relevant. And you see that there's market depth, right? You see there's actual volume. There's actually stuff happening surrounding this project. Let's talk a little bit about the profit ROI, internal rate of return. We're over here on masternodes.online, and we could pull up masternodes.pro. I don't think that would be inappropriate. Here's a VBitX, though, really fast. You can see that VBitX shows SIN. There it is, against their own token. It's a little bit down there. But let's flip this into masternodes.pro, and we'll compare and contrast between Masternodes Pro and Masternodes Online. But we'll search for SIN right there. I've got a couple of things already pulled up on masternodes.online. Let's look at little right now because that's the least investment to just get started. And while it's pulling up over here, we've got Masternodes Online. We can tell right here the daily income from just a little masternode, and we can switch very easily right there. Daily income from little masternode, about $2.21. Quick math tells you a virtual private server is only going to cost you about $5 every month. That's not bad, right? That's not bad at all. Weekly income, $15. Monthly income, $66. However, with the collateral costing about $500 as of today's prices, again, don't quote me, could be totally different, right? In just a little while, let me refresh this page, see what changes. It could be that we've got bad data. There we go. So yeah, that did make a difference right there. But as of today's prices, you're looking at about $500 to acquire one. But over the course of a year, if you're committed to doing that, you're looking at about $782. Let me pull up a calculator really fast. And let's do just a tiny bit of table napkin math, if you will, and take a look at the VPS costs. So 5 times 12, you got $60 right there. Plus, it was $504. Let's call it $505. Got $565. So let's subtract our total. Oh, geez. Let's subtract our total profit there over the course of a year from, or rather the CapEx and OpEx over the course of a year to that. You're looking at about a net profit over the first year of about $200. Not terrible, right? Not terrible. And of course, if you mine that collateral, it's even better. So not looking too bad there, not too shabby at all. Look at the middle tier right here. And here's the funny thing. The middle tier, Masternode, has the exact same OpEx. So it's the same $60 per year to operate that. And with the collateral costing about $2,500, let's take a look just one more time at those numbers right here. Yearly income at 54 or 40, 45, 58. And let's go ahead and just subtract. Let's round up and say that the cost for that Masternode is, instead of being $2,500, that it's actually, say, $2,800. So we'll say $2,860. You're still looking at a net profit of about $1,600 at today's prices if profitability holds, right? So pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. And as far as people always say ROI, like how many days till ROI, 203, but that doesn't really tell us the full story because it doesn't really roll in our OpEx. It's not much though. It's $5 a month, depending on which service you go with. The nice thing about Masternodes, they're easy to set up, generally speaking, and they are quite inexpensive. But let's go to the big tier. And the big tier obviously offers us the biggest rewards. We saw that it was about $5,000 to acquire one, but let's just go out of our way and call it $5,100 and add the $60 of Masternode hosting costs right there, and we'll subtract that from the yearly income, right? So $5,160, and you're looking at about a yearly net profit of over $3,800 as of today's prices. I mean, color me impressed. That's even with the price down right now, and historically not at its very, very best. I mean, it's been a little while since its all-time high. It was 50% higher when it was at its all-time high of 1 cent per coin, USD equivalent, whereas, right now we're looking at about half a cent USD equivalent. So the possibility of seeing a bigger return is still there, right? We're looking at last 14 days having things droop just a little bit, but still seeing the profitability. Or 30 days, we see a bit more of a sawtooth pattern. 60 days, I think we see a lot more of that same sawtooth pattern. These are fluctuations and patterns that I think can be corrected for over the course of a year. So in my opinion, not too much to worry about there. Not too much to worry about there. So let's take a look over here at masternodes.pro. What are we seeing here? Oh, all right. What? Okay, got it. Thank you, Masternodes.online, for having a service that worked and actually showed us what the prospects were there. So we looked at all of the different tiers, right? 100,000, 500,000, 1 million coins, and what to potentially expect there. Let's talk about Masternode Setup. Where can you find info on Masternode Setup? Well, on the home page, right? So SINOVATE.io, they're going to show you that. But I've got some quick links to these two areas. The Infinity Node Setup Guide, I've got links to that in the description of this video. Or if you're on the website, I've got links just below this video. And there is a really great video. Look at that. It's 20 minutes long. And all it does is show you about Masternode Setup. I'm not going to repeat that here. I think that would be a waste of your time. And frankly, it would be a waste of my time too. Let's talk about whether or not I think it actually makes sense to set it up. And first, let's talk really briefly about what you need to set it up. The first thing you're going to need is an active SINOVATE wallet, right? An active SINOVATE wallet. If you don't have an active SINOVATE wallet, then you're not going to be able to hold the collateral securely, right? So having that on a desktop or having that on a virtual machine on a computer, you need that to begin with. That amount plus your setup amount, which for a little SIN Infinity node is going to be 10,000 coins. Remember, those will be burned during the process. You need a simple text editor. So something like Notepad++ or the like, right? Or Atom editor, just a simple text editor. You'll need an SSH client like Putty or Bitvise. And that's it. Those are the only tools you need. I mean, other than a computer that can run a web browser. But we're just taking for granted that if you're going to run a crypto wallet, you got a computer that can run a web browser. The specs for your virtual private server, I talked about it just being $5. That should be enough for you to provision a system that has a single core and I think a full gig of RAM and then 25 gigs of storage space. That's all you're going to need to be able to sync the blockchain, because right now the blockchain is actually less than 1 gigabyte. So, and it will grow, but not so fast that you need to provision more than that today for your Masternode. And I'm going to talk to you again at the end of this video. We're doing that $50 giveaway. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with you getting free hosting, enough free hosting to run one of these nodes for free and run it for pure profit. All right. How long will it take to set up this Masternode? Well, you've got to set up the Qt wallet. And all you have to do to set up the Qt wallet or the SINOVATE desktop wallet is download it, unzip it, and then run it from its current location on either your Mac OS device or your Windows device or your Linux device. It just runs, right? Just a double click. But then you have to sync the blockchain. And the current blockchain size is, well, at the time of this writing, was 924 megabytes on disk. Now, it may not be exactly that much, depending on how you measure it, but on disk, about 900 plus megabytes. The blockchain sync time really depends on your connection, but for me, I live in a gigabit internet area, and it took less than 2 hours on a reasonably fast connection from the network. So it may take you a little less, may take you a bit more, but it's not going to take as much as, say, syncing the Bitcoin blockchain or syncing the Ethereum blockchain. Not long at all. The VPS setup time, actually setting up your virtual private server, should take you about 5 to 10 minutes if you follow the instructions that I'm going to give you at the end of this video to briefly set up a VPS on a service. And then the Masternode combined sync time is really only going to be about 35 minutes maximum. So you see your grand total expected setup time right there. You see that total right there? That's kind of the range. That's kind of just the range. It could take as little as that low number. It could take as much as that number. Any questions? Don't ask, because this isn't a conversation, it's a video. Just kidding. So as far as earnings, the bottom line question, will you earn with this Masternode? And I think that what we determined by looking at masternodes.online is that as of today's prices, yes, you will. Now, the question is, how much collateral can you afford to put into the Masternode? And how long would you like to run that Masternode in order to continue to earn? Right? But I think that the answer, the bottom line today is yes. And looking back over the last month of potential earnings and the last month of coin price, and then the last several months of coin price, 60 days, 90 days, I think we can definitely see there's a strong case for continuing to earn, right? The price was lower 3 months ago, but it not so low that you wouldn't have been earning from a Masternode based on what the SINOVATE team is offering there. And then, of course, look at the 6 month and the 1 year and kind of take a look there. I think over the course of, there you go, over the course of 6 months and over the course of as much as data as we have right there, price, as this coin gained in popularity, and now that it's pretty much hit its stride, I don't think there's any good reason to doubt that profitability will go really far outside of the sawtooth pattern until something else catastrophic happens to crypto, right? So they're going to get out of jail free card, right? Something terrible could happen to Bitcoin tomorrow. And everyone will be like, but Seth, you told me that I should buy this Masternode coin. No, I didn't. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that we've got a really promising looking sawtooth pattern right here that's giving us kind of a lower like bottom resistance right there, resistance level, and then resistance and support level. There you go. So it's bottom support and upper resistance level right there within a sawtooth pattern that I think properly reflects how Bitcoin also has been giving us resistance and support. So kind of boring, right? This looks an awful lot like boring investing, I think. But you know, not a financial advisor, so take that somewhere else. But I think that we're seeing there's a strong case for it earning money. I think the bottom line is yes, people are earning coins rather with this setting up a Masternode on SINOVATE. And yeah, I think that you will too if you choose to do that. Let's talk a little bit about the VPS and how you can host this kind of VPS for nearly a full year completely free. The way you're going to do that is by checking out the link you see on the screen right here. What that's going to do is give you a $50 credit on Vultr. If you're registering a new account, then here's a $50 credit. That gets you going for 10 months out of the next year on your SINOVATE Infinity node or any Masternode that you choose to use. But I think we can see the case very strongly here for creating a SINOVATE Infinity node because the earnings and the earning potential appears to be there based on my quick analysis. It's really very simple to set up a VPS on Vultr right here. I'm going to click on deploy new server from the main dashboard. And then I can choose exactly which location I'm going to deploy that server from. I'm just going to choose Atlanta because I want to stay in the central time zone. I could do Chicago as well, right? But I'm going to choose Atlanta. I'm going to choose Ubuntu, 18.04, 64-bit. And then I'm going to choose the $5 a month tier right here. So 1 CPU and 1 full gigabyte of memory with plenty of bandwidth for syncing the blockchain initially and then for keeping in sync ongoing. And then 25 gigs of SSD storage. I'm going to enable IPv6, create a new server hostname, Infinity Node 1. Hit deploy now. I'm going to let this install, and there you go. It's running. When I click on Infinity Node 1, I can copy the IP address, and I can copy the password. And username, of course, is just root. So as far as shelling into this machine, it's as simple as me opening up PuTTY right here. So I've got that on my desktop. but I've got PuTTY. I'll copy the IP address, and I will Alt-Tab back over to this machine and click on Open. But it's already asking me, okay, how do you want to log in? Root. Now copy the password. That's copied. And when I right-click here, so you can't really see what it did, but I right-clicked inside of PuTTY, and it pasted in my password. Now I'm logged into that machine, and everything that the SINOVATE Masternode Infinity Node Setup Guide teaches me to do here, I can do very easily from within PuTTY. Now all I have to do is follow along to the video that the SINOVATE team has already created, have this PuTTY window open, have a text editor window open, and then also have the SINOVATE desktop core wallet open in the other corners. So those four together will give me a solid starting point for getting this project done. All right, let me ask you, what do you think about SINOVATE? Is it a good project? Do you trust the team? Has anybody here hired Dino yet from Upwork to be able to give us a report on whether or not he's a good developer? And if so, what are your impressions? What do you think of not only the team, but the roadmap? What has been your experience working with SINOVATE? What's been your experience mining SINOVATE in the past, or formerly Suka in the past? Have you enjoyed it? Has it been a good experience? Do you actually think they're going to be able to keep out of being gobbled up by FPGAs like so many other multi-algorithm coins and like Ravencoin are being gobbled up? Tell me down in the comments, and appreciate you taking me up on that offer to give you $50 free on Vultr. It is limited time, so while this is a $50 giveaway, this won't last forever. It's possible that you're watching this video outside of the time where that offer is still active. So I hope you act quickly. I hope you do get that $50 credit, and I hope that whether it's SINOVATE or some other masternode, that you use it to host a masternode that you believe in, for a project you believe in. You support crypto in that way, and I hope that you benefit. I really do. All right, guys, thanks for watching to the end. You're the reason I make these videos. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.